Mornings, weekdays from 10 on ABC Northwest.
Good morning, you're with Yanni Johns on ABC Northwest. It's a beautiful day in the Pilbara today. Lots of sun, lots of fish, not much work being done, but that's all right. Our special guest in the studio today is Richard Dinnan, Chief of Staff from Broome. The Mentals. Did you know that those guys started off as artists in university? And they put together the band to earn enough money to buy beer. And then now look at them. They've taken off. This morning you can talk to us about when have you stood in for somebody and what are the challenges at doing that. You can call us on 1300 510 222 or SMS 0448 922 604. Our guest in the studio today is Richard Dinnan, who's tasked with that very special job of standing in. He's here in the Pilbara for a couple of weeks to help ABC sort themselves out. Good morning, Richard.
Yeah, but I was going to say FIFO, but I drove here, so...
FIFO?
DIFO.
Low-level flying, if it was
Yes,
with me.
yeah.
So, Richard, you're a standby chief of staff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in that job, for people out there that don't know?
Today I was thinking of a little bit of fishing, but there's other stuff to do as well. Basically, they used to call them RCMs, Regional Content Managers. Before that, we were Regional Program Managers. This is the new title. And Chief of Staff kind of connotes almost a military thing. I wonder, do you get epaulets
That's
with
right.
a little bit of stuff on your shoulders? But basically, you run the station. That's how it goes.
And what are the major challenges in running radio stations here in the Pilbara?
Oh, well, it's remote, in terms of technical support primarily and the spare parts that you need to keep a radio station on the air. And just out our studio window at the moment, the wonderful James O'Shea, who's one of our tech services guys,
Yes.
They're all based in Perth. And they do these regular maintenance visits, and James is out here sorting out some of your technology, some of which I've got to say has seen better days. The wear and tear on the stuff that we use, it sounds simple. We come in here and we talk and we share stories and songs and all of that, but the technology that makes that possible, it's advanced enormously since I started in this industry 25 or so years ago. But it's digital, it's expensive, and it doesn't like hot weather.
No, and
or dust, and you've got a combination of that stuff, haven't you? So, that's probably the biggest challenge, is keeping the gear working, especially as we go into cyclone season, a time when we know people rely on us for all that really important information around the wet season. So that's one of the reasons I'm here right now.
So when did you start your career?
In
radio?
1983, I was a law student. I was driving taxis at night, and I got a bit worn out by the 12 hours behind the wheel, and I went and got a job working for one of the big taxi companies in Sydney. When you dial your phone number to book a taxi, in the old days it was all done by two-way radio and grumpy blokes with voices over the two-way telling car 54 to go around and pick up Mrs. Smith. And I tried out for that and I got it. And I was dispatching fares to people over the radio. Of course, in the taxi industry, there's a great diversity of languages and ethnic backgrounds. So I learned very quickly that in a noisy taxi over a two-way radio, and you wanted the bloke to remember where he had to go and who he had to find, you had to somehow make it memorable. You couldn't just rattle it off. And that's probably the best lesson I've ever had about communicating over the radio. The better you make it, the more you shine it up a little bit and make it memorable, the more people will go, yeah, that's good. So, yeah, and I got heard by a radio announcer who was moonlighting driving a taxi on Saturday nights.
Really?
And he rang me up, and this was in Sydney, and he said, can you come and meet me down at the old Harry's Cafe de Wheels at the Woolloomooloo Docks?
Spent many
for
a wasted night there.
And he said, listen, I'm going back to do a particular shift on a big Sydney radio station. You should come and be my traffic reporter. And I was in, and I've never looked back.
That's amazing. Our guest in the studio today is Richard Dinnan, and he's a standby Chief of Staff for Karratha
Salute
ABC.
when you say that.
I'm getting some medals out for you. We've been talking about the challenges of taking over a radio station. And today out there, if you've ever had the job of moving in and taking over something and changing it, give us a call. 1300 510 222 or text us on 0448 922 604. Now, Richard, in closing, do you have any advice for budding young broadcasters out there?
Yes, I do. Be shameless, absolutely shameless in knocking on doors and letting people know of your interest. I was one of the luckiest people in this industry in that I had never dreamed of it as a career. It never even occurred to me. And then someone came and knocked on my metaphoric door and gave me this wonderful opportunity. And here we are 20, God knows how many years later. And it's been the most wonderful thing I could have chosen to do with my life. But if you've got a dream for it, or any other thing that you've got a career goal at, don't be shy about letting people know, and take every opportunity that you can get to learn about how to do it. And you might be using GarageBand to DJ at home on the computer, whatever it is, whatever you've done. Use it. Take every opportunity to get together with others, to come and knock on our door and say, can I come and watch the radio show for an hour and learn from you? All that kind of stuff. And document everything you do. If you make a good little interview with somebody, record it, keep it, because it'll help you get a job. And look, there are all kinds of courses and schools that can teach you this sort of stuff. The theory is important, but the practical, the button pushing and the technology is also really important. You're getting there. You're getting there. So, don't hold back. If you've got a dream for radio, TV, media, working for the ABC, I want to hear from you. What's that number again?
It's 1300 510 222. Get on it now and
Ring
get
now.
yourself into radio. We've been talking to Richard Dinnan, standby Chief of Staff at the Karratha Studios today. The weather today in Karratha is absolutely gorgeous. Turn the radio on, go to the beach, kick back, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
This year's El Nino event could be one of the biggest on record.
This summer, as the heat sets in and we bunker down for mango madness, we want your stories of landscape change in words and pictures. From the pot plant to the paddock, stories from a big landscape. It'll be your summer diary. Just head to abc.net.au/open and look for the hot summer.